All right, last but certainly not least, we're going to be integrating our gradebook application into Liferay's workflow engine. So the idea here is we are able to go through a review process with our application before it is actually creating our assignments. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how we're able to do that. The first thing we're going to do is head over to our service.xml. Right, beforehand, I'm going to do a little cleanup, right, kind of collapsing these guys. We'll clear out all of these other tabs here, right, just to be a little bit neat. So we're going to start off first inside of the gradebook service. Here inside the gradebook service, we're going to head over to our service.xml and just confirm that the fields that we need are there. So we're going to need 4 fields, and they're going to each be the status fields. So these 4 status fields, we need those ones. The next thing we need to confirm is that we have our workflow instance link. Right, so over here in references, we have the workflow instance link. Looks good there. And then the package path is Calm Liferay portal. Looks good. Right. We'll do one more check here over here with our finders. We need to make sure that the status finder is here, as well as the abilities to search by the group and the status, the group ID and status. So once we have all of those things confirmed, we're good to go here in our service.xml. So I'll go ahead and exit out. And the next place we're going to be is over in our assignment local service impl. Right? And so with those statuses, the workflow will go through specific statuses depending on what part of the workflow our assignment is going to be in, like completed or under review or pending, something along those lines. So we're going to scroll down. We're looking here in the add assignment method. And you're going to see a section that's commented out. For me, it's on line 117 down to line 122. You're going to see the assignment is setting the different statuses. So once you find that, go ahead and uncomment that. So I'll remove the block comment here. Okay, so setting each one of those. So the first part is the actual status of the assignment. So when something goes through the workflow, it's going to be pending or it's going to be under a draft, as we see here. Right? Once it finally finishes and goes through the workflow, it'll reach the approved state. Each one of these is setting different attributes of the status. So keeping track of things like who specifically started this, who has reviewed it, and when did they review it. So let's head down a little bit further. You're going to see the return statement towards the bottom. And instead of the return statement just returning the assignment, what we're going to do is we're going to be starting our workflow. So the way to do that is through the start workflow instance. And we're going to be passing 3 parameters here. So we're going to need the user ID. We're going to need the assignment object itself. And then we're going to need the service context object. Let's scroll down a little bit further, and we're going to be looking for our delete assignment. Right. When we delete the assignment, we also want to delete the workflow instance that goes with it. Right. We can't go through a workflow if the assignment doesn't exist. So right below the placeholder, if you want, you can remove or override the placeholder. So we're going to be calling our workflow instance link local service, and we're going to be deleting our workflow instance links, so with an S. All right, the first parameter here is going to be the company ID, so we can grab that from the assignment itself. So get the company ID. The next parameter here is going to be the site ID or the group ID. get group ID. Okay. Third parameter, right, it's going to be the class name of the assignment. So assignment class get name. And then the last argument down here is going to be the assignment ID number. So get assignment ID. All right. And with all of that, I'm going to do a little bit of formatting here. Here we go. Okay, so let me get this. All right. As close as I can get right now. Not going to worry too much about it. Okay. So we have the assignments going through a workflow by creating these workflow instances. But what we need is a workflow handler, the one who's actually responsible for changing the status as the assignment is progressing through the workflow, right? And so we're going to need to create that workflow handler. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to start off here by creating a new package in the gradebook service, heading over to new, followed by package. And then the name of the package is going to be Liferay training gradebook service workflow. We'll go ahead and click finish here. And let's head back down to our snippets. We're going to scroll down, last section here, 6C, enabling workflow support. And we're going to grab the class that's needed. All right, assignment workflow handler. We'll copy that and we'll scroll back up towards the top and we'll paste that file within the package that we just created. All right, let's take a peek here inside of the class that we have just brought in. And so the majority of the magic is going to happen here with the update status. And so what's going on here in the update status is we're going to be grabbing a couple of different parameters along the way, such as the user ID, the primary key of the resource or assignment, right? And then we're going to be passing that off to the update status, updating the status of our assignment as well. So status being where is it in the workflow. All right, so our application is all ready to go, but let's highlight a couple of different things that are going on in order to display our status. The status is actually already being displayed for our assignments. Right, so if I head over to the UI itself, right, you'll see the status field is already provided here. So if I head over to our gradebook web, and if I go to my JSPs, right, and looking at the entry search. So here in the entry search, right, we'll see that using Liferay UI's search container, we are already displaying the status right here. So pretty simple right there. All right, next place we'll take a look at is the view assignments MVC render command. So we're still here in the gradebook web, taking a look at that view assignments MVC render command. All right, and so looking through, you'll see here as well that we are also going to be displaying the status. So this is here in the add assignment list attributes. Right, we go through the assignment itself to be able to, well, display the different attributes of the assignment. And so let's see if we can find it here. Let's see, view assignments, MVC render command, yep. There it is. Right, and so right here in this section of code, right, we see in the in status, right, we're going to be grabbing the status of the workflow, and then we're going to be displaying it over here. So with all of that, let's go ahead and take a look at the different parts of the exercise that we have gone through. So I'm back over here in my instance of Liferay. I'll refresh the page really quick. And now that we're here, I'm gonna head over to the menu. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start configuring the workflow. So over here in the control panel, followed by configuration, right? And let's see if we can find it. There it is, workflow. Right, so we're here. We can head over to schemes, and you'll see our assignment right there. You can click on the edit button that lines up with it. Right, and then the only workflow that's here is the single approver. So we'll select what we have and then go ahead and click save. Right, so what that means is our assignment is now going to be going through the workflow, and we need one person to help us review the assignment as it goes through. So let's go ahead, head back over to the main page of Liferay, and we're going to be creating an assignment. Right, so I'll call this assignment training. Right, description is training as well. And you'll see the status right now is pending. So it's waiting for us to approve the assignment within the workflow. I'm going to refresh the page here really quick. And once I refresh the page, you'll see that I have a notification. This is a notification to approve what's going on within the workflow. Right, and so I'll head over to the notification. I'll click on the options button that goes with it. I'll mark it as red, and then we'll click on that link right there. When we click on the link, it's going to send us over to our workflow tasks, which you can see here on the left-hand side, to approve or reject what's going on within the workflow. So it does seem a little bit silly to approve what we've created, but that's what we're going to be doing. So let's head over to the options over here on the right-hand side. And then we're going to select assign to me. And then we could leave a comment, but we're going to click done just to finish it up. All right, so our request has completed successfully. One more thing we need to do, we'll click on the options button again. Now that it is assigned to ourselves, and we can approve, reject, or assign it to somebody else. So in this situation, I'm going to select approve and then click done. Right, and then this is going to finish the workflow process. So when I head back over to the main page of Liferay, you're going to see that our assignment is now approved.